Hey everybody! So I am going to show you today my kids' 72-hour packs. It's not something that we've ever had before. I've always prepped, not in a doomsday zombie apocalypse type fashion, but I've always prepped at home for natural things. Like a couple years ago we had, neurotoxins in our water from algae blooming from our water source, and so we couldn't drink the tap water for a long time, and I had a very deep supply of water in my garage, and so we were okay for quite a while. And so it's stuff like that, like job loss, natural disasters, things like that. We always have a deep pantry. And in my van, I have some drawers underneath my seats and some drawers in the back of my van, and I have some extra supplies in there. Just if the car or van were to break down, we would have extra diapers, snacks, stuff like that, first aid supplies, etc. So, but I've never done 72-hour packs, and in our state, we live on the West Coast, and hang on one second. So we live on the West Coast, and there's a lot of wildfires right now, and we've had a lot of wildfires the past several years. I mean, there's always fires at this time, but they're very intense this year. So all of my siblings and my parents were all evacuated either on stage 2 or stage 3 evacuation. We thankfully were not evacuated, but we were fairly close to the area, and we have a lot of smoke, and the air quality is very, very hazardous right now. And so we actually took off last week we went to another city to try to get out of the smoke, and we were able to for part of the day, but then the smoke caught up to us, and we ended up coming home and hunkering down with air filters, and we've been here ever since. So there's not really anywhere to go on the West Coast anymore unless you go halfway across the United States. So I thought it would be a good idea to make some 72-hour packs for my kids. Some of them are getting older and can help out a lot more. And when we left last week, I made some quick backpacks for the kids and acted as if we were going on a camping trip. Like I threw the tent in the car, threw as much food that I could in the car because we didn't know if we were coming home or not. We were considering finding a place out of the smoke and camping. So it was kind of an emergency camping trip, and I think that 72-hour kits are essential now, because if we were to have to leave, we also have flooding here sometimes. Oregon doesn't really see earthquakes often, but you know, that's always a potential. So anyways, I'm going to show you, I have 7 kids packs, and so today I'm going to show you this one. This is one of my older kids packs, and they're relatively the same as all of them, but I'll show you the differences, and then I'm going to show you my 1-year-old's pack. Now, I'll show you this one first. My kids are all color-coded, and we already had these backpacks for hiking, but we don't usually end up using them. If we do any hiking, we usually end up using something else. I had bought these a few years ago. So these are perfect for a 72-hour pack. They're small. I got them on Amazon. I'll link where I got them. And so we have all the different colors of the kids. Well, I will start out in the front pocket. We have some hand sanitizer in a Ziploc bag so that it doesn't leak anywhere, and masks. Now, for a smoke situation, these don't do a lot. I want to get some N95 masks for my kids. With COVID and everything right now, you can't really find masks, and I'm not sure if they even make N95s for kids. They make KN95s, the ones without the filters, but I'm still looking for that. But if we are out if we have to get in the van and just drive for, you know, several states and we're out on an emergency trip, if we have to go into a store, there's no way I'm splitting up from my kids. And so we all have masks in case we need to go into the store or if we end up in a shelter situation. Here, our state fairgrounds was set up as a shelter. It still is. There's a lot of evacuees still there. And so we have masks for when they're necessary. And then in here, I have a flashlight. I still need to get some for my kids, but I would like one in everybody's pack. Then on the ends, we have water bottles. These are small, but I don't want to make the packs too heavy. I also will say I have a few things coming on Amazon, and I have a water filter coming. It's a big water filter. It's not a Life Straw, but it's a gravity water filter with a big bag. I'll insert a picture, and then we can filter any water, and we can refill these. I didn't get other water bottles and these. Some people put an empty water bottle in here. I have not done that because I figure for now we can just refill these from the gravity water bag. And then in the pack we have, hang on, I'm getting tangled up on my headphones. In the pack we have just a container from the dollar store. These came in a pack of 3, and everybody has one. That way, for food purposes, it's a bowl, it's a cup, whatever you need, and it's cheap. Some of these things I may end up replacing eventually, but we're working with what we have. A lot of these things I already had, and then I went to the dollar store and some other stores and grabbed some cheap things. Next is a little toiletries bag. And what we have in here is some gummy vitamins, some tooth flossers, a toothbrush, some toothpaste tablets where you just bite them and, you know, they turn into a powder with a little bit of water. It turns into toothpaste. And that's a lot easier than buying every single person a little tiny tube of toothpaste that we may likely never ever use. And so I bought a thing of toothpaste tablets and split that up. And so that'll work. And then a thing of coconut oil, just a packet. I had these already, I think, from an Imperfect Produce box, and this can be used for a lot of things. It can be used for sunburn, it can be used for chapstick, and also in a pinch it can be used for toothpaste, tooth cleaning. If we end up being gone for more than 72 hours, you put a little bit of coconut oil in your mouth and you brush it around, and that is sufficient. So next is clothing. In here we just have one set of clothes for now because these are small packs. I didn't put in several sets. There's a pair of jeans, there is 3 pairs of underwear, and 3 socks. That way, if we need to, we can wear jeans and shirts for longer, but we can change our underwear and our socks. Now I will show you in here, everybody has the same long sleeve red shirt. And that way, if we are in a shelter situation or if we're outdoors or wherever we are, we're all dressed the same and we can find each other better. We're a large family, and so we need to be able to see everybody. I did pack long sleeves because we're heading into the colder months, and you can always dress down, but you can't always add more layers if you don't have them. So same long sleeve red shirt. Everybody has these. I'm working on my husband's and my packs. We don't have our packs done yet, but that's next on the list. Then I have a hat. Not everybody's bags have hats yet. I'm working on it. I don't want to put all of our winter hats in here, so I need to find some inexpensive hats to put in. Next is an emergency blanket. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then a little first aid kit from the dollar store. I added some things in here. I added alcohol swabs. I added a needle and a little tiny thing of thread just in case. And then I added extra Band-Aids. It only came with 2 Band-Aids. And then there's some other things in here. There's a little multi-tool and safety pins and tweezers and Q-tips and a little pair of scissors. Now I got everyone a little first aid kit like this because I can only carry so much, and in an emergency situation, I very likely will be separated from my husband until we can meet up with him, because he works long hours, he works out of town, he drives everywhere, and so in an emergency situation, I cannot count on him being there right away. So if I split up all of these little things, I don't have to carry a huge first aid kit because everybody has a little bit, and especially if we were to lose a child and we have to look for them and find them, they have the bare necessities of what they need. And then next we have a rain poncho. These again are from the Dollar Tree, and what I like about these, the Dollar Tree actually had exactly the number that we needed, but I got all of the boys a green one and all of the girls a pink one. My husband and I have green and pink too. That way when we're out, it's a little easier to tell who's who. You know, I know we all have the same red shirt, but it's kind of nice to differentiate in colors. That way if I see a tall child wearing a green poncho, I know it's my oldest son and not my oldest daughter. So just, yeah. Plus, that's the only colors that they had. So I got what they had, and they had the exact number of ponchos that I needed. Next, the oldest kids, the 3 oldest, all have one of these, and I have one too. I didn't put them in the younger ones because I don't want to make their pack too heavy. It's just cleaning wipes from the Dollar Tree again. Next is just a kind of random bag. Again, there's lots of baggies in here because baggies come in handy to put things in and wrap dirty things up and what have you, and they help for organization. And here we have hand warmers, a comb, a cheap dollar store washcloth. These were in a 4-pack. I believe, yeah, these were in a 4-pack, so they're super cheap, they're microfiber, but they'll do the job. Here is a little citronella bug bracelet. I don't know how well these work, but they were 87 cents at Walmart, and so I figured it won't hurt. I have one kid who's very sensitive to mosquito bites, and she'll swell up if she gets her hands bit. They'll swell up, and we need Benadryl and all of that. So yeah. Next, we have just a little thing of tissue, and, you know, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It can be used for noses, it can be used for toilet paper if we're not, you know, if we're out in public and a public restroom is out of toilet paper, or if we're camping, what have you. Next, everybody has a chapstick. And then the oldest kids all have a dollar store pocket knife. I am going to go and try to sharpen these because, I mean, they're from the dollar store, so I don't know how sharp they are. Again, all of these bags will be kept out of the way, and so anything like this will not be easily accessible to any little hands on a day-to-day basis. And my older kids have practice with pocket knives and know how to use them and know what they're for. So the little ones do not have them. Next is a fun bag. And so I have a tennis ball. It's just, you know, just a fun toy, especially if we're in a shelter situation and kids are getting bored. I did see something that tennis balls are very multi-purpose, especially in an earthquake situation, and you are at home. We can use these at home too if we have to stay in, but there's an emergency. These will help out at home as well. I saw if you take this like in an earthquake situation where sewage is coming up your toilet and you need to stop the overflow of sewage, you take this and you put it in a tube sock so that it, you know, kind of thickens it a little bit, and you put Vaseline or something so it's a little more slippery, and you shove it down your toilet, and that will stop the sewage back up. So, but most likely in our case it'll just be a fun toy. So, and then in the fun bag we have a few different things. Some of them are multi-purpose, like there's the fuzzy wire sticks. I figure, especially for a camping trip, I mean, it's basically wire, and so you could use those to fix things if necessary. Just a little Dollar Tree pack of Legos. My kids really like Legos. Glow sticks. Again, these are fun, but they're multi-purpose, especially if the power is out, or if we're out camping and it's dark. These have the little strings to go around their neck on them, and so have a little bit of light. There's just a couple balloons to play with from the dollar store. Then there's a whistle. This is not an incredibly loud whistle, but I put them in here. It's a 6-pack from the Dollar Tree, and the good thing about this is most of my kids have an emergency whistle on this that I got when I originally got the hiking packs, but some of them have disappeared over the years, and so this, for the kids whose emergency whistles are gone until I can replace those, they have this just in case they get lost, and we've gone over these packs. My kids know how to use everything in them, and so they know that if they get lost, they blow on this until someone finds them. Next is a pen and a Sharpie. The pen is, good if we need to write a note. If we're heading out of the house and my husband's not home, we can write a note and tell him where we are if there's no phone service. And then a Sharpie, if you're in an emergency situation, you can write on the kid's arm their name, parent's name, address, phone number, what have you. So everybody has just a cheap Walmart permanent marker. So next is just some coloring things, and these can also be helpful for writing notes, what have you. I've had these for a long time. I got them at a discount store. They are green sprouts. They're actually placemats. They came with little crayons. I added more crayons. They're placemats, and they have sticky tape on the backs of them, and so you can stick these to something if we're in public, or more of a kind of doomsday situation where we're on the go, and if you needed to write a note, you can. And then lastly, well, not lastly, okay, then we have this. I laminated them all. On the other side, I have my kids' names, birth date, address, and then in case of emergency, I have a long list. I have mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, godparents, and I have it all listed out with all of their phone numbers and who they are to the child. And then I haven't done it yet, but on the back of them, some of my kids have a lot of food allergies, and so I need to, probably just with a Sharpie, I'm going to write on the backs what their allergies are. So all of them have an identification card in their backpack. And then, lastly, is a food bag. This isn't everything that we would need. I mean, it would, if necessary, this would get us through 72 hours. It wouldn't be incredibly great, but I'm going to slowly add some more things to this. But right now, we just have a pack of tuna. I need to get some like mayonnaise packets and stuff like that to put in here. All of my kids like tuna. I have a couple of apple squeezes, and especially like in a shelter situation, like I said, we have a lot of food allergies, and so I have to have food that we can eat, because the last thing we need is allergic reactions. And in one of my daughter's packs, and my packs will also have EpiPens, because that's a necessity for us, and we will have a bigger first aid kit as well in the van. Then we have a couple gluten-free oatmeal packets, couple boxes of raisins, peanuts. I think there's a couple things of peanuts in here, sunflower seeds. And this is all stuff that my kids like and we eat on a regular basis. These are tahini bars. We have a couple packets of some organic candy chews without dye, corn, stuff like that. Then have a juice box or juice pouch, couple of Luna bars, and I have a child that can't have these, but she has a couple of other bars in her bag, a different brand that she can eat. We have a pouch of peanut butter and a peanut chocolate Lara bar, and then we have some hydrating things. We have a what is this? I can't think of, Arbonne. It's like a probiotic powder drink thing. And then we have 3 generic vitamin C drink packets. And that is it for this bag. Now I'm going to slide everything over. And I'm not going to show you everything that's in this bag because a lot of it is the same as the other bag. This is my 1-year-old's bag, and the difference with this is an ergo backpack, and if we are walking and hiking, she will likely be in the carrier on my back, and this hooks to the back of the carrier. You can also hook this back to the back of a regular backpack, and so it has the extra straps, and that's why we have this one for her. And here, the things that are different in here is she has a sippy cup, and then in the front she also has hand sanitizer. I do not have masks in here for her because she is only 1 and she can't wear masks. And then in here we just have some Hello Bello nose wipes. They're like a boogie wipe, and then her identification card, and we have some Honest Co. dry wipes, and so we just need to pour some water in here, and then we have the wipes, because I figured that if we leave a pouch of wipes in here, over time it will dry out. So there's just dry wipes, and as she gets older we can leave them because these will be great for cleaning up anything. And then she has waters in here as well. She has everything else just the same, except she has a pack of diapers. This is a size bigger than she normally wears, but most of my kids never outgrew 3 or 4 in the size of diapers before they were potty trained. And these 4s work on her, so this will last us a long time. Probably we won't have to switch this out with another size, most likely. And this is way more than she would need for 3 days, but I'm trying to keep a little bit extra in here in case it's longer than 3 days, and especially if we're in a shelter situation, we have a lot of friends nearby. If we are on the go with them, we have a little extra to share. And then let's see what else is different in here for her. Yeah, the last thing that is different in here for her is she has some different food. She has oatmeal, the same as the other kids. She has a lot of things that are the same as the other kids, but we have some little baby pouches with bananas, raspberries, and gluten-free oats. And then we have some little Happy Baby fiber and protein bars. And yeah, that is everything. And my little kids' bags are, like I said, a little bit different. There's just a couple things that aren't in there that are in everybody else's, but for the most part it's all the same. And yeah, those are the bags. If you have any questions, let me know, and I can show you guys my husband's and my packs when they are done, and I can show you the rest of our situation. Most likely I have a big shoe closet, coat closet next to my front door, and we have the shoes on one side, then there's kind of a deep part. I'm going to put all of these in bins, probably a couple bags to a bin, and then I will have a couple of bins of extra supplies that aren't already in the van, with extra water, things like that. And like I said, I'm going to be putting the water filter in my backpack, and eventually I will probably get life straws for each kid, but they're kind of expensive. They're like $16 to $18 a pop, and so times that by 7, and that's a big chunk all at once. So yeah, I'm continually adding things, but like I said, I don't want to make the bags too heavy. So if you guys have any suggestions of things that I should swap out, that would be great. Like I said, this isn't necessarily for a doomsday zombie apocalypse situation. This is for real life natural disasters, which we are seeing right now and have seen in the past. And so we're just trying to be as prepared as we can. Like I said, the kids I sat them down yesterday and we went over all of this, and we'll go over it again. They're not scared of anything with these. You know, they know what's in them and how to use it, and we want them prepared, not scared. And so we are working on that, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you have any questions.